I don't know why people didn't see this in 2022, 2020, in 2021, 2022, and 2020. I don't know why they see it when he attacked me and the way he went about attacking me.
Because, bro, a vampire cult leader that's trafficking human beings, I'm going to tell you right now, that's like in metadata gold on YouTube, right? Like, that's going to slap. But the thing is, you got to have a story. You got to have something that presents
evidence. And nobody's evidence. Like, all right, with the lack of evidence and considering he's never really busted anybody, which, by the way, I was saying years earlier, he's never shown a bust. Never shown a bust. Doesn't know what happened. It was basically open folders all over again with like bowbacks. And yet they still give him the benefit of the doubt. I find that so bizarre. And the only thing I can come up with is the sub count. He was a scary YouTuber. Whatever, chat. So, look, the way I see it is Chud has covered all the, Nuxtaku stuff and a lot of the other bullshit to death. I don't really want to go over that, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I know it doesn't make Muta look very good. It's not what I'm interested in. I'm covering the stuff that has to do with me. And I'm just going to be blatantly fucking honest. I don't want to embarrass him in front of his wife more than I have to. So I'm just going to stick to my own stuff. So I do recommend this video. This guy's done an interesting job. He does an upward shot with the green screen, which is kind of interesting. And he covered, there's some stuff I think I got to correct. Muta's relationship with Mama Max. Obviously, he goes over the lie to Chud. He goes over, I guess, the relationship with Nux, the back and the forth, and changing lanes and all that other stuff. We did a video on Muta last week about him quitting for the 13,000th time, even though he's really still doing drama. He literally pulled a tipster. I'm not going to touch that other stuff. It's been done. You guys probably have already decided. I'm doing the stuff that basically involves me. What involves me is Mama Max. Now, it's a real strange thing for me because Mama Max is running around telling me people I was a PDF supporter or somebody that was like sort of tacit towards it. Because I called this thing a scam, and it was a scam in 2022, and it was a scam in 23 and 24. There were people that knew there was bullshit. They didn't do anything, or they didn't have the platforms to do anything, which I totally forgive them, or they didn't think it was the right time. And I've been very suspicious about Mutahar because he's on a podcast with Turkey Tom. I was the only guy really vocally criticizing this scam, and this way of going about catching PDF files. And Muta's on record saying, I can't believe that there's some people that have a problem with Mama Max is doing, given no context. And I was the only guy. So he could only have been talking about me, as Chud Logic pointed out. So this guy goes over it. It's called Mutahar is a complete fraud. It is a hit piece. No other way to put it. But yeah, I think there's some stuff I have to correct here too, and I thought I'd go over it. Mutahar might be a dick, but did he lie about the vids? Didn't Nick and him put the screws to him? Yeah, and he told me that he was gonna. He told me that he was gonna do it too, and I appreciate anybody doing it. I think what makes me suspicious about the Mama Max thing is I have a trouble believing that they weren't even, it's something I can never prove or disprove, that they weren't mildly suspicious after he threw Night Docs under the bus. They only got suspicious when he said he was busting a vampire cult. That's the only time anybody got suspicious. By the way, Mutahar's in good company. He's not the only one. But I just got the feeling they were either afraid of Max, just didn't want to get near him because he was weird. And if Max is calling somebody like me a PDF file for saying you're running a fucking racket, a scam, preying on the anger of people that can't stand these PDFs, yeah, and a lot of people came to me and say, yeah, you're probably right, just can't prove it. And then Mutahar went on Turkey Tom and said, what's with these weirdo critics, There ain't no way I got an unspinable rid roll for 60 seconds. I didn't hit that. Really? Oh, okay, maybe I don't know. Because I've been putting more videos up. Maybe I'm getting more. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, trying to pay the bills.
Tommy has cataracts like going. I know. I thought it would go cool with the blue tint. That's why I did it. I was being artistic. What do you think of that? I'm being artistic. All right.
Autistic, sorry?
Yeah, that too. Very much so. All right, let's watch this fucking video from where it affects me. You'll get a little hint on this too. If you need me to pause it, just let me know. All right. If there's something you absolutely need to know. All right. Because I know you're rusty. I know you're rusty.
I got it. Don't worry. I'll follow along.
Now, I'm not going to go full in depth on Mama Max. Plenty of people already have, and the topic's been done to death. But just a basic.
Why? I mean, I have a cat. I love my cat. You'll never really see me holding it unless I'm pulling a joke. I think when you show affection to the cat, it just kind of makes you look gay. You agree?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm definitely allergic. I can't go near it, but anytime I walk into someone's house with a cat, I'm like, oh, so you bought a cat, now you just want a box of shit in your house. That's what you really want.
I love my cat, but I don't do that in front of people. Does your vape have a light show coming out? Yes, it does.
That's for Pride Month. It's not here yet.
For Pride Month, early. You know, the people, all the guys, oh, how dare you say that about cats?
My Mama Max was a YouTuber whose content primarily focused around exposing people and people hunting. Both Mutahar and Noxtaka would give Mama Max several shoutouts, and in the case of Mutahar, would even collaborate with him. Mama Max basically went a bit psychotic with his perceived power provided by his, at the time.
Oh, that's why Tommy has the goal to admit. They're all mad at me now because I made fun of. You can't say anything bad about cats.
Large and respect.
I'm sorry. Like I think the cat licking its ass down here is kind of cool, but I don't know. I think there's no reason to pick up a cat. I don't think you should. As a man, you shouldn't show affection to a cat in public. Only in private.
The channel subsequently throwing around.
It's okay with a dog, not a cat, though.
Wild accusations against, as far as I'm concerned, innocent YouTubers claiming that he could end their careers with accusations. The reason for this is that Mama Max had claimed to have found a vampire werewolf cult run by a guy.
By the way, he's not exaggerating. It was a PDF file werewolf vampire cult. I kid you not. That was the final straw. Yeah, I'm serious. And only then, I said the whole thing was bullshit years ago. It was only then in late 2023 where people were like, yeah, this is a crock of shit. I shit you not.
Jesus Christ, man. These people got way too much time on their hands, honestly.
And Gerard Davis. And he believed that everyone on YouTube...
Cameron Gerard Davis is known as Count Blackula, by the way.
With a large platform such as Moist Critical, PewDiePie, Anthony Fantano, Philip DeFranco, Joe Rogan, Lex Friedman, H3, Mr. Breast, and Corpse Husband of all people should cover this cult out of a moral obligation. I don't even know if Corpse Husband...
Wasn't the first time he did something like that either. He lied to Mutahar and a bunch of other YouTubers about what he was doing a video about. They all spoke on it, and he edited it in such a manner that he was supporting his cause.
Oh,
he did that. Well, he did that too. No. He asked them to put out everything, but they had no idea what they were speaking out of. They were told something else, and they spoke out on it to help Max. And then he basically said, look at all the back I have. And he's like, wait a minute, Max, you didn't tell me that's what you were doing. So, I mean, that was, to me, that was like, all right, this guy's got no credibility right there. No, it took another 2 years. It took a vampire werewolf PDF file cult.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. Well, you know what everybody's telling me during that whole thing, to this like 3 year period? This is like a 3 year drama. They call it. No, it is that I was unhinged.
It's because you understand because you're older. Like they're so caught up in the.
No, some of these people are in their 30s. Some of these people are in their 30s. You can't even say that. I had a guy call in by the name of Night Docs, right, to defend Max when I started pointing this out. There's a whole video out about it, right? He had, unbeknownst to me, not to my knowledge, had been accused by Max of being a PDF file. So to get back in with Max, even though he was kind of shut out of the whole Mutahar Max group, he came in to defend him, even though he was one of Max's victims.
What a brownie.
Oh, I ripped him a new asshole. It was one of my greatest asshole rippings of all time. And I don't really do them anymore. This ain't 2017.
still relevant at that point in time. I'm pretty sure he was just on the list because Mama Max was trying to emulate his voice. Regardless, there was supposedly 6+ hours of coverage from Mama Max, but all he really managed to achieve was drive confusion and beg larger creators to get involved. Anyway, skipping a shit of stuff, Mama
Did Grand Theft Auto, the re-version, did it get better or something like that? People actually playing
Oh,
it?
the launch was a nightmare.
The launch was a nightmare, but I
Rockstar's-
heard it's good now. I heard it's okay now. Yeah.
I don't know. It's fucking same shit. Just, the graphics look a little better, but no.
Yeah. Jack Walker, a black vampire. Now, don't make sense. He must be a hack.
Mama Max's delusional tirade eventually culminated in him taking credit for the arrest of a pedophile. However, he seemingly falsified not only the arrest, but the evidence for it, as other people have found that there is no evidence that ever even occurred. As a result of this, his other aforementioned antics, and a lot more, throughout the beginning of 2024, Mama Max became the target of a multitude of videos condemning him for his questionable investigative methods, or rather,
Even internet anarchist, which I've made a few appearances on.
lack thereof, alongside criticisms of over-dramatizing topics that he covered in an attempt to stir up a frenzy that involved substantially larger creators for personal gain. Now, what's notable to us is Mutahar's subsequent coverage of the situation and his previously close ties to Mama Max. From the surface, it looks as if Mutahar was one of, if not the main YouTuber leading the criticism against Mama Max, which I would say is based considering their aforementioned close ties, but well, if that was all, I wouldn't be making this segment. For starters, let's establish that when Mama Max started getting a substantial amount of negative attention, Mutahar initially claimed he was ignorant of the content that Mama Max made, and that is why he was still friends with him, which, hey, doesn't that sound kind of familiar?
For the longest time, I will admit that me, alongside multiple other creators, were kind of giving Max the benefit of the doubt because, you know, he made pretty big videos, which admittedly I didn't look at every single second of them.
So, from what I'm understanding then, you never really watched his videos, but you backed him up anyway?
He would, well, he would just like give us the gist of it behind the scenes, because that would be like, he would just tell us about the research behind sort of the scenes, but no, it wasn't like I would watch the finalized videos, at least
You're right, Lang. It really does say everything.
most of them.
Right, okay. So, because that's one thing for me is, you know, there's lots of, chat
Which
popping
I
off.
wanna
I've got some
say,
people in chat that, listen, I've got some people in chat that despise you and they're popping off right now, okay? So, I'm just pointing that out. I just want to say...
They're right. I mean, they're right in the situation, right? Like, obviously,
No, I know,
in
but-
retrospect, you should watch the video. Yeah.
You actively don't look into the folks you trust, and you just blindly allow them to say whatever without having critical thought about a single bit of it. So again, I don't really watch a lot of content creators that I collaborate with, and nobody really does, okay?
There's some truth in that nobody really does. But I do find it interesting that he was on with Turkey Tom and Oompa Loompaville and all those guys. And, you know, do you believe there's people out there actually criticizing Max? This is before the vampire cult. It's just like the damn broke. You ever wonder if Mama Max really uses a PDF? Yes, I do. I have. Good donation.
Okay,
Well, what's even more familiar is that, much like in the instance of the Nux Taku situation, this appears to be a blatant lie, as here is an old clip of Mutahar where he implies a very different reality.
Okay, so let's get down to the facts, right? Like, so I watched the videos that he made. The only video I did not watch was the 5-hour podcast with one of the victims that he made. Because it's 5 hours. Like, I'm sorry to say, the time is short. Okay, I got shit to do.
So here we have two different accounts from Mutahar. He claims to watch all of Mama Max's videos except for the 5-hour long interview, and then later, when it's convenient, none of his videos. He has to be lying in one of these instances. I think it's also worth mentioning the last clip I posted from a Some Ordinary podcast episode featuring Turkey Tom.
This is the one. This is the one.
That was released in December of 2023, a month before the mass exposure of Mama Max. And
Really? It was only a month? It was only a month? Is that the same one, guys? It's a different episode? Okay, it couldn't be. Different episode, thanks.
in the beginning of 2024. Bear in mind, they are talking about the exact content that Max would later be scrutinized and exposed for. I just have to say this Mama Max vid was obnoxiously deranged. At the end of it was when he called out the massive creators such as Joe Rogan and Mr. Breast or Corpse Husband, but anyway. Considering we have before YouTubers hit.
Everybody's. I think everybody's also vaping makes you gay. Everybody's mad at your cats. Don't show affection to your cats in public. It's unmanly.
Fuck cats.
Half of which make what I would generally describe as informative or research content. You would expect them not to fall for Mama Max's facade. Well, I guess expectations are how you get disappointed.
Do you ever think for a minute that they didn't fall for it and they were afraid of him? I mean, I did have a guy call in that was his victim and still tried to kiss his ass. Is that me being unhinged again?
Oh,
were they
no,
afraid of him?
Correct.
I mean, he certainly was. Like, he got caught in public because it was a twofold thing that made Max fall apart. One was the internet vampire PDF file werewolf cult. That was the one. Okay. The other thing is he called out Charlie, which is probably even worse, right? And he essentially said, if Charlie, you don't do this, you're kind of supporting the PDF files. He pulled that thing, and Charlie obviously didn't like that, and his fans liked it even less. So that's when things kind of went awry for him. It was calling out Charlie, but the thing is, he gets caught after the whole thing happens. Charlie, he says something to the effect. I wish I had the clip. He says something to the effect of, "I'm the pedo hunter. You got to listen to me. You're going to listen to me, Charlie." And that leaked from Slug, which is funny in itself, right? So he was aware of his own power. He was well aware. This wasn't happening organically or by accident.
Yeah, you can describe God.
Go ahead. Oh.
So basically, all right, here's a little mini documentary. A few weeks ago, I was doing my thing, and I saw a video on my feed, what happened to Mama Max? And I'm like, oh, what happened to him? I haven't heard anything in a while. It was posted by this weird channel called God Cult. So Mama Max, friend of the show, guy who basically hunts files for a living, he rebranded his channel.
Wow!
And he made a video talking
Wow! Friend of the show, hunts for a living. Friend of the show.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Dude.
But how do I make
Bro.
Don't worry, maybe the time frames are just all up. We already watched that clip of Mutahar talking about how YouTubers don't watch their friends' content. So maybe there's some plausible deny. Oh, he blatantly contradicts himself in the same fucking conversation.
I think with his situation, if I was in his shoes, I would take that evidence, produce like an hour video or something, however long, just to bring the point across 100%, make a real debt to rights piece. And naturally, I would assume my friends would watch my video and probably cover it in their own rights, you know?
Well, but that has to be after he's already been lied to. Because remember, they trapped him into making a statement, and he was told one thing, and that's what he said publicly, and it was edited in a video that they didn't know what they were helping out with.
Oh, that's the one.
The
The one that you were telling me about that got cut out of place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. So this has already happened to him by them, I'm pretty sure.
Time to time. Like, Caleb, you've done stuff that I've covered on my channel and vice versa, right? Like when we were doing that Josiah Mizukami guy that ended up getting busted, you covered him, vice versa. It happens. Nux, you do it. Tom, you and I do it with each other. Everyone does it. Like, it's not like your friends are going to ignore you, but like your friends.
I don't watch my friends' content. I'll be perfectly honest with you, unless it's something I want to research or something. I don't.
Oh yeah.
Because like
I'm your friend. I don't watch a single episode.
Yes. No, I don't. It's just like you talk to them offline. And it almost becomes weird, right? It always goes like I don't think like one of my guys, Verse really respects Nick and thinks he's great, but he doesn't watch. He might do it now because I don't think they talk much anymore. But I don't think like when Nick started getting big and like he was around the Shot from the Point scene a lot, he didn't watch it because it was like, I guess it was just kind of weird. I was like, yeah, I feel that way sometimes too.
Can't blindly.
When do you not? I do watch Willie. So maybe I'm a bad person. But Willie has very consumable videos. I don't watch full streams. Never do I watch a full stream.
Co-sign on whatever.
No, I always watch Willie. There's some truth in that.
You're saying, right?
But I don't watch. I'm not waiting for Willie video. I was like, oh, that's a Willie video, and that's a topic. If it's not a topic, I give a shit about. I didn't watch all the Hassan videos for sure
because you just don't understand it.
When will he stop lying? But back onto the point of disappointment.
Here's the thing. When it comes to Max, though, just because as far as my personal bias, I believe that he has evidence and that he really is doing.
I believe he has evidence. Why don't you know it?
For good
But, like,
reasons.
I think it's
I
like
think he
a
is.
highly dramatized thing.
Hey, what the Tom, you aren't supposed to be the focus of this video. Why did he agree that Mama Max likely had evidence despite presenting none of it?
I like Max. I like his videos, but he is being, I don't know. He needs to pop a Zanny right now because he's going a little crazy, I think. The thing is, there seems to be some like child cult or something that he wants to be reported on, which is fair, but I think the biggest issue is like...
It sounds like bullshit. It sounds like a steaming pile of bullshit.
No content creator even knows like where the evidence is, what this is about. Nobody has a detailed explanation. And like, if you want people to cover this, like you need to break the story first. You know what I mean? Like you need to have the information.
Yes, true and real. All right, so unfortunately, he's just couching his language because one of the fellas he's speaking to, that being Nux Taku, who introduced the situation, very clearly is quite fond of Mama Max. But anyway, back to the focus.
So I think, and that's what I said to Max, I'm like, if you want to do this, instead of pulling at the pant legs, right? Like, if you present one good story, like beginning, middle, and end, or beginning, middle about this situation, this like cult leader.
So they have all this faith in him, yet he hasn't put one good story or one good hard fact out there. It is beyond them. It is beyond me. It's beyond me that anybody thought that like I was being overzealous. I mean, in fairness, even Chud, I don't know if he took exception to a word I said it was a racket. I forget what word I used. I said racket. He's like, oh, come on, Tommy. You know, now as soon as everything became 100% clear, he switched gears. But I mean, I don't know why people didn't see this in 2022, 2020, in 2021, 2022, and 2023. I don't know why they see it when he attacked me and the way he went about attacking me.
Because, bro, a vampire cult leader that's trafficking human beings, I'm going to tell you right now, that's like in metadata gold on YouTube, right? Like, that's going to slap. But the thing is, you got to have a story. You got to have something that presents
evidence.
And nobody evidence, like, all right, with the lack of evidence and considering he's never really busted anybody, which, by the way, I was saying years earlier, he's never shown a bust. Never shown a bust. Doesn't know what happened. I mean, it was basically open folders all over again with like bowbacks. And yet they still give him the benefit of the doubt. I find that so bizarre. And the only thing I can come up with is the sub count. He was a scary YouTuber.
Because, yeah, if you want people to react
and he had respect for some strange reason
to you and respond to the video, right? Then you're going to have to make something that is, you're going to have to present the story and people will naturally come, right? Like it is what it is. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
It's just very dramatized, and the approach, I think, isn't honed to YouTube.
I think with his situation, if I was in his shoes, I would take that evidence, produce like an
if I had seen this, I've never watched his podcast except for on here and when I need the content. Maybe because he's making it up.
video or something, like, or however long, just to bring the point across 100%, make a real debt to rights piece.
Okay, this motherfucker is sweeping for real. Bear in mind, this is after Mama Max's God Cult campaign had played out in its entirety. Nothing about that situation changes between the date that this podcast happened and Mama Max getting called out for his absolutely deranged coverage of Candid Gerard Davis. This is after Mama Max had already made his video calling out Moist Critical for not covering his vampire werewolf people cult. Mama Max has already made all of these absurd claims with next to no evidence, and Mutahar has already said that he watched those videos. Yet here these veteran YouTubers are still conversing about it as if he does have evidence and he's just yet to release it. They should already be condemning him. Here's Chut Logic to reiterate the point.
Hello friends, it's me.
Oh! I don't know, it's like a guy releases a video and he's smearing the name of the person on the wall in feast.
Well, in fairness, I called it a scam or a racket, and Chud took exception to that during this time. So, I mean, there is a certain amount, and by the way, this is like reasonable fear. This is not a criticism of Chud, but if you're going to criticize all these veteran YouTubers, it's got to be everybody, right? So, like, yeah, all this stuff was out. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. Admittedly, I don't have the power. Everybody's playing nice with the guy because all he's got to do is turn around and call you a pedo. They know what happened to Night Docs. We know what happened to who's the kid that worked for Obama? What the hell was his name? He's not around no more. I know he's suffering because Trump won. He's a good guy though. Mutahar. They've seen these guys get ruined. They've seen it happen. Magdar. They've seen these guys. There may be a little fear. Now I don't think Chud had nothing to do with that. But keep in mind, when I was saying this stuff during this particular time, he was great company. They were doubting me. A lot of people were doubting me.
Feces, right? You know, I don't know. Daniel is a p. It's fucking smeared in feces on the wall. Total schizo breakdown, and they're just there going, Well, the problem is there isn't really much evidence that I've seen of this. If only you could put together a video just explaining and laying out what the issues are, then maybe people would talk about it. Right? Just see what I mean?
That's especially when considering the fact that Mutahar went on this big public tirade against...
Yeah, but I mean, and Chud knows this too. You really can't go after somebody unless you haven't had the rights. Otherwise, you're risking your channel. So I'm iffy about this criticism. It feels a little like I'm trying to shoehorn Nick into the Destiny thing at some point, and I'm going to give Mutahar a little bit of a break here. I don't it was said, it was out there. It is tough to believe why they didn't, but it's like he's in great company. I don't think all these guys liked what they saw. You know, Nick was very open and honest with me. I don't have enough on him yet. He knew it. Nick knew it. Nick told me privately when it happened, when I was in Lanzarote. It's fucked up, man. I'm really sorry. And that was like right after we had our big fight. So, like, you can kind of go after Mutahar. I have trouble understanding why he didn't come to this conclusion earlier. There may be a fear factor. There may be the fact that maybe he just didn't want to believe it. It was tunnel vision. But I can't criticize him and him alone because he was in good company. Some of it was based on fear. Some of it was probably based on he's a big YouTuber, and some of it was based on you're not a big YouTuber. By the way, that happened to me. If you listen to Open Folders, and when I got into it with Swoon, a lot of their arguments against me came down to he's got 100,000 subs. You don't got shit. So this is not an unusual practice, even by veterans, because they look. You ever notice when Keemstar gets in trouble or anybody gets in trouble or something like that, then all the videos come out of nowhere? Because it's safe. It's safe. Have I done that? Yes. I'm risking my channel. Fuck that. So I think I'm going to be a little more charitable to games. That being said, in fairness to Lord CRUST, who's done a pretty good job from what I can say, it is difficult to understand why nobody came to this fucking conclusion.
Mama Max, not long later, when the public opinion had swayed against him due to the coverage from smaller...
Yeah, the public opinion, and then it became easier to do. Guess what? Mutahar is in great company in that thing too. That part too. He's in great company.
Like Nicholas Diorio. By the way, other than digging up old shit that Mama Max had done that Mutahar supported at the time, I'm pretty sure Mutahar just piggybacked off of Nicholas Diorio's investigation.
I think Nick would say that he couldn't have done it without Muta. I think he has said that, even though he's mad at him right now. So I'm not with you there.
Not one to criticize, I suppose. This very video is basically just a compilation of all the information.
This guy we're talking about Mama Max near 1 million subs, 800,000 at that point. Dealing with that kind of topic can create that kind of fan backlash. Everybody saw what happened to me. If they really were into it, they saw what happened to Mutahar. If they were really close, they saw what happened to Night Docs with no evidence. Could be fear.
Dug up and presented by harmful opinions.
I'm stupid.
The Cantorus, Queenman, and Chud Logic. But the point is more that this Mutahar guy seemingly just used Nicholas as an out for the fact that he had previously legitimized Mama Max and hadn't actually done any of the considerations himself as to why Mama...
I was fairly to confirm this recently after I wrote this script. I can't find the clip right now. I don't take it with a grain of salt. I can vouch that he has been suspicious of Max since 2021. But he explained to me that he didn't have enough to make the banger. And so, well, maybe you should just not make a banger and then not worry about it. No. When it deals with something like this, when you're taking somebody, you have to make a banger. Otherwise, you lose. So I don't blame Nick for that at all. And he was well aware. It's just he couldn't put pen to paper. It got a lot easier when we're talking about pedo vampire werewolf cults. That made it super fucking easy. It made it super easy when he pissed off Charlie. But that's just the way things work. It's not brave, but some people are paying bills with this.
Mama Max was I mean, for fuck's sake, here is a clip from the same month Mama Max ended up being exposed, or more specifically, January 12th, 2024.
You've spoken to him on several occasions, right? Not just the one live stream. I think you mentioned you spoke to him privately.
Yeah, the thing that I was referring to yesterday with him was like me and Nux had a conversation with him about the situation behind the scenes.
And you guys have met and stuff. You shared a house at VidCon, right? Like you guys were friends or are friends.
Yeah, I mean we shared a place at VidCon. We're friends. Yeah, I would say for now.
So he's still a friend at this point. I shit you not, it's 6 days later, so not even a week, that Mutahar releases his first video exposing Mama Max, which I will expand upon briefly. Before that though, here's one clip from Chud Logic to reiterate the point for the final time that the Some Ordinary podcast, but more specifically Mutahar, was at minimum downplaying the situation for his pal Mama Max, and subsequently, whether it was intentional or not, was playing damage control for him.
Sniper Wolf. Madar-Man Monday!
What was that?
What was that? Yeah. Oh! 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 What? What?
My name is...
I'm sorry, I can't trust like Mutahar and all these other guys. Like a lot of people trusted this guy. A lot.
Yeah, I don't get that argument because they're saying they're all friends. Like I'm thinking, realize any of your buddies does some shit like that, you're gonna have his back until you really find out for sure.
Sure.
Like if there's some trust, like that's just ridiculous. Like who's like, you know what I mean? I get why you're giving slack.
Yeah. Well, I think it both ways. I'm going to defend him where I can because it's like I said, he was in great company. But I think it's fair for this guy to question and say, like, Jesus Christ, like, how long, how did you not know? I think that's a fair question. How did you not know? Nick's playing 5D chess with YT lately. He seems to be the only...
playing 5D chess with Yit lately. He seems to be the only person that actually understands how the community works, that people won't call old and crazy. They'll just call him fat.
Yes.
Spencer, and I am a survivor of Camden Gerard Davis. The leader of a destructive...
They watch this, and these are the takes they're giving. Not just a complete condemnation of the derangement this guy is participating in. It's, how can we give this guy good advice to help people react to his story?
See, that was the issue Chad had with me. He said, these people are deranged. How can you believe them? And I said, no, the whole thing is a racket to get money. He thought he was just like a really bad pedo hunter. Now, when it became beyond obvious that this was a racket to get money. So it's not everybody was, there is a lot of hindsight here. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, even a broken clock right twice a day.
Yeah, I know. There is a lot of hindsight. Now, look, like I could say, like Nick's my friend. He didn't buy his bullshit from the beginning. He thought what I said was completely reasonable. He told me in private. But he also said, politically, there's nothing that really can be done. So is he as bad as fucking, I was there. He didn't say those words, but I knew what he meant, and I understood. And it was reasonable. You can't just start swinging at PewDiePie or well, maybe you can swing at Mr. Beast these days, but it's not. Look, you could be like a Cowboys used to be this guy. He was like the first guy to make the video, and he used to take all the dislikes. But once that cleared the hole in the wall for all the other commentators to go in, I've been a benefactor of that. So,
If
Chud's looking at this like, this is fucking ridiculous. How can anybody buy it? Yeah, I'm with you.
Now, in regards to Mutahar's first video covering the Mama Max, a big part of Mutahar's coverage was when he went into one of Mama Max's older investments.
And by the way, when Muta came to me and said, I'm going to make a video on this, I was happy. Because I thought there was a possible chance of redemption. And by the way, if it wasn't for Mutahar, I wouldn't have got it, I suppose. I didn't feel like I got it when I got it, but most of you felt that way.
Investigations into a guy called Magnetar and outlined how Mama Max had made
this poor guy. But I know this guy, he's a great guy.
Unsubstantiated claim that
He's got bad TDS. Oh, now he's a blue sky? Good. You can talk to Luke Skywalker or Blue Sky.
Mutahar was a pedophile who had sent a photo of himself masturbating to a child. What motivated Mama Max to do this is the fact that Magnetar had made a video compiling all of the claims sent to him by Mama Max's exes, yes, plural, alleging the abuse that Mama Max had done to them. Here, I'll just
You can't say abuse on YouTube? Jesus.
let Mutahar explain his fuck up in that situation.
Max's account and evidence against Magnetar at the time amounted to a witness statement over Twitter, and that was all he really had to bring. He made a serious allegation, and even then he followed up in his video that he wasn't going to continue investigating because there wasn't enough actual evidence.
But I have not made a video on him, despite wanting to all these years, because I do not want to harass them, and I feel this is not enough evidence to build an entire case against him. So I have not and will not until we have more proof.
Max made an unsubstantiated claim against Magnetar without sufficient proof, showed a bunch of his photos, gave out his full name, place of work, and basically ruined this person's life. Now look, I have no idea what the truth of this situation is, right? But what I do know is Max made an unsubstantiated claim, and I made a very...
I do. I know this. He got somebody he knew that went to a high school that Magnetar used to go to and said that he put on a uniform trying to pick up chicks after the video came out. And by the way, that's a perfect example. Magnetar had no friends in the commentary community. This is why you can't just go swinging. And this is what I'm telling Lord Crust. He had no friends in the commentary community. There's issues with the video, but they're not glaring, right? And he got mollywopped by an 800K guy. That's why you can't just go in. That's why I'm not mad at Chud. That's why I'm not mad at any of the people that didn't support me. That's why I'm not mad at Nick. You know, it is hindsight 2020 in fairness to Lord Crust. Now, in fairness to Lord Crust, let me repeat myself. You could look at this in hindsight, and especially when the vampire werewolves come up, and he's like, where the fuck were you guys? I get that, but there is more nuance to it. That's all I'm saying.
Very severe mistake of not looking into this at the time and giving a friend of mine a serious softball at the time. In reality, I talked about this on an episode of our podcast and without intention downplayed a serious situation. Not just for Magnetar, but for some of Max's ex-girlfriends in that situation. And for that, I'm beyond sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if sorry cuts it when you repeat the behavior afterwards. Also, don't forget that in this instance, he's referring to Signal boasting a false allegation that he did no personal investigation into. Now, what's even crazy to me is the fact that Mutahar was already made well aware of some of Mama Max's wrongdoing, well over half a month before this podcast where he sweeps for Mama Max. Here is a conversation that Mutahar had with the YouTuber Tommy C on the 28th.
Say that again, hold on a second.
Here is over half a well aware of some of Mama Max's wrongdoing, well over half a month before this podcast where he sweeps for Mama Max. Here is a conversation that Mutahar had with the YouTuber Tommy C on the 28th of November, 2023.
Hey, do you know what happened to Lyrics' stream last night?
I don't know what happened to Lyrics' stream last night, but
You
I
never
am working on a
believe
Max
this.
video.
At one point, you really... What? What happened?
Did you hear that? You said he's making a Max video.
You're making a Max
I'm
video?
making a video on him. It's not...
I was excited. I was grateful. And I still am.
It's not like super long or like digging into it, but it's like I'm just going into how his attention for this specific project is the worst thing that he could do.
See, I don't think you guys are looking at it the right way. This is a scam. He makes 2 videos a year. He doesn't show...
Because remember, I'm the only one saying that at this time. Everybody's like, look at these videos fucking unhinged. That was most people were saying. And I'm saying, this is a scam.
Any victims or any progress, and he makes a minimum $14K a month. His style has been, and this is not new, he just bit off more than he could chew with Charlie. His style is to guilt, fear, and threaten and blackmail other YouTubers to give him clout. He doesn't want Charlie to help those kids. He wants Charlie to shout him out. And you could go back to 2022 when I pointed out that this whole thing is fishy as fuck. And he did a whole thing that I support pedophiles. I'm a goddamn molestation victim, that cocksucker.
I mean, I did not know anything about like
I didn't want that to be revealed in front of Fletch. You're not allowed to make fun of me for that.
All right, I can't. No comments, guy. I gotta make a mental note and not say anything.
I forgot that part was in there. No, it's already public.
Thank God I missed that stream.
No, my whole thing is this guy's calling like I'm a victim of this stuff, and the reason I care about it because you're fucking things up for victims, and yeah, that was my defense. And then he backed off. Bungus, wake up later or something. Shouldn't you be in bed now, mister? No, I'm doing things a little different. What do you want from me? Bungus? Thank you for the
Patreon stuff. Like, in full context, like, Max, me and him know each other, like, in real life.
If you notice, I have my own, like, office, my own full blast arcade, lots of room. I'm like,
You guys paid for it.
Yeah, we paid for this. Is mine now. So...
We're not like super talkative with each other though, but we have like a relationship, I would say.
Okay.
So I just want to say there might be a bit of a bias here, but like I don't have like
I wasn't sure how close they were or they weren't at this point. I knew they knew each other. That's all I know.
Like again, to me, when I look at this situation, the way that you're describing it, it's fucking. I'm learning a lot of new stuff. Like I did not know about the 14,000 a month type thing. I didn't know about that.
So at this point, again, half a month before the podcast, Mutahar states that he is still real-life friends with Mama Max, but he is making a video on it. Not only is there the actually deranged God cult videos, but Tommy C has also raised the point that Mama Max is essentially scamming his fans by running a Patreon for these fraudulent investigations. Yet this rat Mutahar continues to act like Mama Max might still have some evidence behind the scenes, inadvertently, or I guess directly, legitimizing his absolutely deranged investigation into Camden Gerard Davis, the vampire werewolf. Was he actually working on the Mama Max video that would end up coming out a whole month and a half later?
All right, I was told by him, he was working with Carl Jobs at the time, that it was going to be at least a month. After a month went by, he got right in touch with me and said, I didn't forget. In fact, in between that, he said, I didn't forget you.
So
there's plenty to criticize Muta here.
Did you
and keep in mind,
do an arcade tour? And will there be a free after show for us moochers?
Good possibility. Good possibility. For the after show, you can't come in here. It's my place. It's fun to have an arcade where nobody comes to. No, it's not. I wish more people came over. But no, possible after show. This one might be really long though, so keep that in mind. The thing that bothers me about Mutahar is there was a video, I think it was a year earlier, where he's talking to Turkey Tom, strangely enough, and they were like, "Do you believe there's people out there that are trying to criticize Max?" And I was the only one, so I can only think he was talking about me, but he never names me. And then now he's coming to me, and I'm like, I don't know anything. This guy, yeah, I could see why this guy doesn't believe him.
Or was that just a claim he made to save himself from Tommy C's ire? It seems to me as if that is the case, considering how he spoke about Mama Max right up until the last moment. He had to be repeatedly shown how shitty of a person Mama Max was before he did anything about it. What's even more absurd is when you take into account the fact that when Mama Max spread rumors behind the scenes that his...
See, I think what Lord CRUST is suggesting, and I don't know if I agree with this, that he knew everything that was going on and did absolutely nothing. I actually don't believe that. He's entitled to his belief. And what he's doing with Hindsight, with the PDF werewolf cult, whatever the fuck it's called, it's how do you not know that? And again, I can say he's in good company. Muta is in excellent company. But
I agree with that too.
It does get weird when he made that Some Ordinary podcast with Nux, with Oompa, with Tom, right? And at one point they say, Tom interrupts. I don't think he knew he was talking about me. Tom interrupts and says, "Hey, aren't we to the point now where PDFs are bad? Yeah, you'd think we got there, hardy fucking har." That infuriates me because it was, well, yeah, you think we're at that place now that PDFs are bad. The only guy. So what are you saying? Now, Muta swore up and down he didn't know I was the critic. But now that plays into Lord CRUST's whole narrative. How the fuck did he not know I was the only critic? Nobody had the balls to do anything about it. So maybe Lord CRUST is right. But I'm not sure he knew everything. I think what he's mistaking for knowing stuff is more, it's safe now. And Mutahar is in good company with a ton of YouTubers in that particular department. That's all I'm saying.
Mutahar's mutual friend, the YouTuber Night Docs, was a bad father, creep to women, and pedophile with no evidence.
This bothers me too.
Mutahar nearly instantly cut Night Docs off.
What was more serious was the allegation where he had allegedly started unzipping himself in front of a minor, exposing himself over a Discord video call. Now, I actually confronted Jim about this one specifically because I wasn't exactly, I needed to know the bottom of this truth, or I need to understand or at least get his side, because obviously I met the person in reality. Me and my wife confronted him, and in this situation, Jim obviously categorically denied that he had done anything, but I didn't have any evidence for or against Jim, and you know, in spite of all,
so you cut him off, and that's probably for political expedience. You cut him off. Didn't you want to get to the bottom of that? And this is my big problem with Muta right here. We don't know if he knew about Mutahar, but we definitely know he knew about Night Docs. We don't know if he knew I was really the only vocal critic, but he definitely said that people that were criticizing this guy were making arguments for pedophiles, or at least making jokes or alluded to this. What's true? What isn't? Here's one thing I'm going to have to say. I think what Lord CRUST is right. He is a liar. I just don't know what he's lying about.
All that, I still decided to, you know, hold back my connection, not talk as much anymore. We weren't necessarily the most talkative.
And that's kind of funny thing, considering the stuff with Night Docs. I'm on again, off again. But it's with Muta, from what I can see, it's always the path of least resistance.
People anyways, but this absolutely sealed the deal, and that's just because I don't really like to interact with somebody that even has that kind of an ick on them, or that stain, because again, I don't know what's true or what isn't. In this situation, I just decided,
but he had more, but Max had more subs.
Decided to dial back the friendship that I had. Obviously, considering everything now, I'm more inclined to believe Jim at his word, given the other party. But yeah, those were the two big allegations. Well, at least one of them.
Hold on a second. Yeah, there's your answer. Yeah, shut up. Right there. There's your answer.
Them were the most serious allegations, that being a...
Look. This is a dirty fucking secret. YouTubers don't want to take chances. YouTubers want an easy kill. The path of least resistance. Mutahar is not alone in that particular situation. If you're making money on this, you want to protect it. And I was like, well, Muta's rich. It doesn't work out. You want to protect what you have. You want to keep what you have. Ask Magnetar. He had no connections, no nothing. He didn't know the community. He was a complete freaking noob when it came to this stuff. And he got mollywopped. So yeah, Mutahar's nobody takes chances like that. The only reason I was able to survive it is because I have, at that point, a 7-year career and a built-in fan base that hasn't left me yet. Not everybody has that.
Of the minor and him exposing
bigger YouTubers than me don't have that.
Over Discord. The other one about him being a father coming into question, I don't think I ever really questioned that. I think obviously when it comes to him and his interaction with kids, again, in comparison to him interacting in a weird way with potentially a minor or any woman on the internet, was something that raised more red flags.
Mutahar himself said it. There was no evidence for or against Jim, or as he's known on YouTube,
like, fuck him.
Night Docs. It was all unsubstantiated rumors spread with no evidence by Mama Max behind the scenes.
Sometimes that's enough to get new YouTube friends.
Also be clear that Night Docs have been housing Mama Max at the time, and this ungrateful Max decided to not only take advantage of that, but spread some of the most career and life-ending rumors to all of his personal and business associates. How the was Mutahar so willing to drop Night Docs with no evidence if they were close enough friends that Mutahar's own wife was involved in the confrontation, and there had already been a million red flags about the accuser, Mama Max, falsifying or manufacturing claims. It seems to me as if Mutahar was much closer friends with Mama Max than he was willing to let on in that call with Tommy C, or in general to the public.
There might be some truth in that.
It's just absurd to me, because even now, when Mutahar is sweeping for Nuxtaku, he gets away with it because of the framing of, oh, I don't want to cover trauma content, despite the fact that he continues to do so. The real issue is that these certifiable degenerate freaks like Nuxtaku and Mama Max can piggyback off of Mutahar's up until now near pristine reputation and credibility, not just through close association, but because of the fact that Mutahar even goes as far as to sweep for these people, well after 500,000 red flags have already begun to show. In the case of Nuxtaku, basically his entire career he's been a degenerate. It's only now, after public opinion has shifted against him, that Mutahar decides to jump on the bandwagon. However, that obviously backfired, as it ended up contradicting.
Again, yeah, this is the problem with always taking the path of least resistance.
A shitload of his previous statements. As a result, he enacted Plan B and steered his channel away from
Mood is a more famous version of Tipster. It does kind of feel that way.
Drama and swept the situation under the rug, which all in all has just been rewarded by his audience. In regards to Mama Max, well, Mutahar outright considered a friend as of 6 days before.
See, lucky for Mutahar, his relationship with us, like I think most of his audience don't know who the commentary community is. They have no interest. It's not the kind of stuff they want.
First video talking about him, and had previously lended his credibility to Mama Max when he made an unsubstantiated claim against Magnetar. Mutahar's opinion on Mama Max only shifted when the public's did. Subsequently, Mutahar has lost a substantial amount of his credibility in my eyes, as much like a greasy rat, he is more than willing to lie when there is even the semblance of pressure applied to him in order to save his own hide. Additionally, Mutahar appears to have amorphous opinions that shift depending on the social pressures that apply at the time, whether that's from online associates with a large platform or his audience. It seems to me as if he threw Mama Max under the bus, subsequently being rewarded for it. However, when he attempted to replicate the same with Nuxtaku, it backfired, and so he took the video down and took a 2-week hiatus, followed by him returning saying that he's gonna stare away from drama content. Oh wow, what a shocker, he covered the Johnny Somali drama before I could even finish this video. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. My next video will be taking us back to the foray into the art commentary community with part 2, the one that's about Jack.
Whatever. Well, go check out his video if you want to watch the Nuxtaku part, because I'm diggity done with that. Your opinion, Fletch?
I mean,